Good morning. Welcome. Good afternoon, whichever time you're watching this. It is Monday. We're back for another week. The season is approaching. We are continuing our season previews. And because I don't know how to calculate time and all that, we might have some double episodes heading into the end of the week, maybe some weekend episodes, because we gotta get these through and we still have four divisions to cover. So yeah, let's start out with one of those four. We're starting out with the West, the NFC West, and today we're starting out with the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks, as you know, they're heading into a new era, new coaching. It's been a while. Pete Carroll had been there 4 years, and his staff, but he's no longer there. New head coach, first time head coach, Mike McDonald, who was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore, takes over as the coach. Um, so that's the first big change that happened there. John Snyder's still there as GM and football operations. Um, Mike McDonald brings over Leslie Frazier as his assistant head coach. Uh, Leslie had been out a few years since being with the Bills. Not a bad guy to put there. As his offensive coordinator, Mike McDonald brings over Ryan Grubb, who was Washington's his assistant head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach of the University of Washington. Sorry, for the last 2 years. Before that, he had been in college. This is his first stint in the league. Obviously, a lot to prove, but it'll be okay. Uh, their defensive coordinator is Aiden Doorday. He was Dallas's defensive coordinator for the last defensive line coach for the last few years. This is his first time being a coordinator, but as we know, this is going to be Mike McDonald putting the focus on everything um, on this defense. Honestly, like he's gonna run everything. He's gonna take care of everything. So yes. Um, Special teams coach Jay Harbaugh, one of the Harbaughs, is here. Um, obviously, um, obviously, there's a tie-in. Mike McDonald worked with both of the Harbaughs, John and Jim, Michigan, and at the the Ravens. All right. So as far as roster wise go, Gino is still the guy there. They did trade for Sam Howell as a backup. There was a little bit of a carousel. At linebacker, Kenneth Walker Jr., Zach Charbonnet. See who they use. Is it going to be a twin backfield or rotation, as whatever you want to call it? At receiver, I think they have a chance to be really really good. Obviously DK. We have Tyler Lockett, and we have Jackson Smith and Jigba, who had, I think, a really decent rookie season, especially towards the end of the year as he's starting to get warmed up, as I like to call it. So looking for him to bounce back, put something together. At tight end, Noah Fant. Let's see if Seattle and this new offense could finally unlock him like he was, somewhat unlocked in Denver when he was there before the trade. So offensive line, have a few people, they have a line that they've been building for a few years. Um, like Abraham Lucas, tackle, Charles Cross at tackle. Um, they did Connor Williams, who's a center. Um, at guard, trying to figure that out, but they got some guys that they've been building. So the line's a little bit of a question mark, but I think that they'll be okay because the guys they have are solid. In my opinion, they're well, they're projected to be solid. Obviously, they're still young guys that are unproven, but they're not like those tackles that are named aren't rookies anymore. A couple years in, so we'll see. Defensively, obviously, it'll be a 3-4 or 3-4 variation of a defense. Leonard Williams is the known guy on the line. Jermont Jones, who's been there for a few years now, is also there on the line. It's a 3-4, so they'll be playing the defensive ends, Leonard Williams and Jermont Jones. And then at the nose tackle, you got Jaron Reed, Cameron Young, the newly, and then on that line, I can't wait to see first round pick Byron Murphy, the second. Go at it. Um, as far as like the pass rush, they have Boyamafe, they have Owuzu, who was hurt last year. We'll see if he can bounce back. Those are kind of like the big names at outside linebackers, so they're lacking there. Pressure on the edge, in my opinion. As far as inside linebacker, they did sign Jerome Baker, who was in Miami before, Terrell Dobson, who was with the Bills. So they do have some bodies there, inside linebackers, of guys who have potential or have shown flashes in this league already, being veterans. But linebacker, especially the edge, is a little questionable for me. Um, Defensive backfield, obviously, we have Devin Witherspoon, we have Tariq Woolen. That's at corner. Those two guys, if they stay together, there will be a good duo. At safety, Julian Love, who they re-signed, they decided to let go of the vets and Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. Julian Love will step up. They signed Rayshon Jenkins from the Jags. So I think in the defensive backfield they'll be fine. It's not. I mean, just because of the names, you could say it's not as secure as it used to be. But I mean, we're not playing because of the names. We're playing, because of the scheme and everything that's put together. But I mean, Julian Love's a veteran. Rayshon Jenkins is a veteran. They do have a head coach who's um, defensive minded. And he'll be running this. This defense is going to get a lot of pressure. This defense is, going to generate some things here. Um, but defensively, I think linebacker, specifically the edge for me, is a worry. On the offensive side, the offensive line and how fast they can come together, that's a worry. But at the skill positions, they're set up for Gino to have another decent year in this offense, to have a really, really decent year, especially with the new offensive coordinator. We'll see what ideas and things he could bring to the table from the college game. Defensively, I like Mike Macdonald as a defensive coordinator. I like his style. I like his philosophy. Defensive line, they're good. So, like I said, linebacker, specifically the edge, is worrying me. And I think they'll figure it out in the backfield, because I think with this defense being, Mike McDonald likes to generate pressure. I think it'll make, obviously, better for the people in the back end, obviously, for them to go ahead and do what they have to do. Um, Game by game, let's see. They start out at home against Denver. That's a win. They go to New England. That's a win. Dolphins, that's a loss. Lions, that's a loss. Giants, that's a win. San Fran, that's a loss. Falcons, I think it's a toss up. I think these two teams might be the same. So I'll leave that as a toss up. Bills, that it is a loss. And it's at home. They're at home against the Rams before the bye in week 9. They got a great bye in week 10. I think they're gonna split with the Rams. So I think, I don't know. This is the one they take. Um, then after the bye, they go to San Fran to lose that. Cardinals up in the air as well, but I think they'll beat the Cardinals. The Jets lose that. I think they'll beat the Cardinals again. Packers will lose that. Minnesota will win. Chicago up in the air. Rams will lose. So I lost track of. See, so I think they'll go like 9-8. Honestly, just looking at the schedule without knowing injuries, without trying to predict the future, obviously, because I don't know what actually is going to happen. But I see them right now, just going off the top of my head on the schedule, 9-8. Um, basically, yep, 9-8 around there. So Seahawks, but it could be a surprise. Like I said, if this offensive line can come together um, quickly, because I think that's the biggest weakness on offense. They have the weapons. They do have the unknown of this offensive coordinator who's coming from college. Defensively, we do know the no of Mike McDonald, but you know, and they generate pressure, help the backfield and everything, and go from there. But could surprise you if like those things, like if the pass rush from those outside linebackers or edges does surprise us there, that'll be a big game changer. And then obviously if the line on the other side at the offensive settles in quickly, Seahawks might be a problem, or give teams some headaches at least. But yeah, that's it for the Seahawks. Uh, we'll be back tomorrow with the Cardinals. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Composite Timeout. Peace.